Okay, I think I am live, and hello everyone. No one's in the chat yet, so I'm just going to kill some time by setting a few things up, guys, and I might play the guitar for a couple of minutes too, just while we wait for some people to roll in. I think everything's working out fine. I need to get the chat up on my phone so I can see that while I screen share with you, so just bear with me. Now I've started the stream, I should be able to do it. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, today's show is going to be a little bit different from the usual. I'm exhausted. That's just the honest truth. I've been working a heavy 6 days of crazy shifts all over the place, and a staff night out in the middle of all of that, which definitely dragged me down quite a lot, if you can't tell from my voice. But I realized I haven't done a live show in a week, which is quite consistent for me, so I'm proud of myself. And it's time for episode 10. So in the spirit of doing something, I say different, something I haven't done in a while, I'm going to go back to the earlier previous styles of this, where we just talk to each other, share each other's opinions on certain theories or whatever's on our minds right now, within the conspiracy realm, of course, keep it on topic, or as close as we can. And just have a back and forth. I think it might be fun for people to listen to, you know, live or on their own. And also in the spirit of, you know, being transparent, I guess. Well, let's have a look through some comments people have left me over the years. I think it could be fun. The thing about being a scattershot conspiracy theorist, which is how I would kind of phrase my own identity within this world of conspiracy. I'm quite erratic with the way I come at things. I like to look at all theories all the time, and I don't really focus on one topic. I like to cross them over and compare them to one another, and, you know, find avenues between them. So my videos are random and all over the place, a lot like the way I think in that respect. It's just the way I am. And I like to, like I'm playing with a big jigsaw and playing with all the pieces to see what fits where. So my videos look like that too. It's a mess. There's no real structure. I tried to make some playlists here and there to that kind of go along a similar vein or theme in each video. But because of that, I find it difficult to know what to talk about on live shows, because just the way my brain works, focusing on one particular thing is it's difficult to know what to choose. So let's just go through my old videos, find the ones that were popular and the ones that weren't, maybe get some feedback from you guys, or, you know, give you a bit of insight into what I think of these things and where I was when I made some of these videos as well. And this will hopefully help me just come up with things to talk about, because obviously we'll be talking about random topics, left, right, and center. And it will spark something in my mind, and I'll share whatever I can about that topic. So I think I might have the group chat up here right now. It says I'm live. A random topic. Yeah, there we go. And let's check the live chat, guys. I have an invite to America from George Spain, which I'm quite happy about. So thanks for the message, George. It says, put your hands together. Greetings, everyone, and blessings of peace unto you, I pray. See you in 30 minutes. Love your work and video productions. If ever in SC, USA, stop in, doors open. And that's nice. You know, thanks. I don't think I'll ever be going to America. Not anytime soon, anyway. It's quite an expensive plane journey. And I'm not rich, you know. I think it'll cost about £1,000 just to get to America. And then, you know, surviving in America as well costs money too. So I'm not sure I'll ever cross the Atlantic, but thanks for the offer. I appreciate it. Later on, I'm considering letting people come on and actually have a chat, you know, and live if you feel confident enough and you want to just come on and have a talk about anything, get anything off your chest, anything you've been thinking about. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen. It's what I like to do. So now I know I have that going there. See if I can screen share with you guys, and let's just start digging into some comments. I'll put this thing down. Right. Sorry if I'm being a bit slow. I can't plug my mouse in at the same time. I have a lot of things plugged into all the USB ports. So I have to use the pad, which is awkward at best. That's all I have to say about that. So we'll screen share there, and that's great. I think you guys can see that. I'll just check on my phone. Yep, and minimize this. And I have my comments section up here ready. If you don't have a channel, you don't really know how it works when it comes to having like a few subscribers, and you get a lot of spam. This has always stayed. It's down a little bit right now, but people send a lot of very strange messages. A lot of people spend a lot of time putting paragraphs together, which they spam onto many truther videos. And some of these are quite good. You know, this guy obviously is trying to sell a lot of things. I'm not going to go into it because it's just crazy. But you can see a lot of effort people put into some of these comments. I mean, look at the size of these things. Who really has time to read that? I'm sure people do. But I just, when I see something like this, you know, as a content creator and, you know, with precious little time, I suppose, to read every comment, it's like, man, I don't think I can do that. I really don't think I can put the effort in to read all of this. And I know they did. I know maybe that's cruel, but this is just the truth of how these channels work and how most big channels work. If you want to talk to somebody who runs a channel, you know, someone you admire or you think may not necessarily see your message, my advice is don't do something like this. You know, keep it short, keep it sweet, and you'll have more of a chance of getting a response. Much more of a chance. So that's just some advice on that. If we go back to just the normal comments I get in every day, let's see what we have. I have no script. I have no plan. I haven't come into this like finding the best comments first. We're just going to go through them. I don't really respond to many comments because I rarely have the time really just to check if I have the comments. And when I do, it's just the odd one that's there immediately in my presence that I respond to when I have 10 minutes spare, rarely. So maybe this might be a good way for me to respond to you guys. If you appreciate that idea, let me know, you know, and I'll do this regularly. If it's good, this is a test. Let's just see what it's like first time, shall we? Tori Agami, hi. I see you there in the chat. Thanks for joining. Good to be here. Greetings from America. Make sure you get some rest before then nutty shifts. Oh, well, thanks for the concern. It's nice to know people are listening. That's great. Thanks for that, guys. So let's get into this. Now, Watchman for you, if you're listening, thanks for the recent comments. I think you must be a new subscriber. I've not seen you before, but you've clearly been watching a lot of my videos and have had some brilliant, nice things to say. I really appreciate it. This is an interesting one. Jehovah's Witness leaders got many of their false doctrine using spirit box type machines. Check out Dallas, Canada YouTube channel. It has a couple of vids on it, or you can find it on my Jehovah's Witness playlist. I forget the name of the units, but it's very much witchcraft. Yeah, well, actually, I did a video on spirit boxes once. I think I did, yeah. And or I have definitely researched them heavily. I'm not sure. I know I used them in a certain video at some point, but they are fascinating. And I remember there's a channel. It might be this one you're recommending. There's a guy who's really obsessed with them. He makes his own. He spends a lot of time and effort creating these machines. Because he believes, you know, he's talking to ghosts, the disembodied spirits of humans, or in purgatory, let's say, or perhaps, I don't know, beings that could give him knowledge and wisdom of some kind. And, you know, being honest, I think he looks like a very lonely, shut-in type of guy who has a lot of time in his hands and has become quite obsessed with this. So maybe he considered these people as his only friends who he communicates in with this box. A very sad, all-round sad-looking scene, actually, the more I think about it. But he's getting responses through these boxes, which is all the more creepy and eerie. Pray for him. You know, he needs help, and he needs to see that there's much more out there than these murmurings from the other side of a twangy-sounding box. You know, there's more out there than that in the world, and you can get better friends than that. But no, it destroyed him. You can see his story. Maybe I can find out. I'll leave the links. I can't promise anything. But you look at it yourself. Type in you know, spirit boxes on YouTube and spend an hour or two just looking through like the common videos, and you'll find this guy. He's up there. He's one of the big, you know, contributors to the spirit box YouTube dimension. And yeah, there's a one where he got attacked. He was quite in shock about the whole situation. He was in horror, and it freaked him out. You know, and he didn't break through yet and hasn't really bothered to look deeper into the whole thing and discovered that, you know, what he's communicating with are demons, the disembodied spirits of Nephilim, creatures that were once on the earth in the past, but were wiped out by a huge global catastrophe and flood. The spirits became disembodied, but they're still here on earth. They can't leave the earth. They don't have a soul or spirit that came from heaven, from another world. It's very much of this world, other than, I guess, their fleshly bodies, which were divinely orientated. They were giants, so they had godlike features in that respect, but they didn't really have a soul. They weren't supposed to really exist. They aren't God ordained. They aren't a part of the original certified design, I guess you could say. So they are null and void when they die. They don't have access to anything else. So yeah, that's what these things are on the other side of the veil. That's what they are. And they're very intelligent. They're not stupid. They know all the languages. They know everything. They've seen everything. They watch people all the time. They have centuries worth of retained knowledge and determination, and they have an agenda, and it's to deceive you. So I feel sorry for this guy with the spirit boxes. I really do. So Watchman, for you, if you're wondering about spirit boxes, yeah, I hope that answers some of your thought processes on it from what I know. It's all I can really share. It's fascinating to watch, but it's definitely witchcraft. It's definitely not a good thing, and I wouldn't recommend anybody does it. So let's go on. Let's see what else we have here. Kelly Taylor, the truther from UK. Straight to the point name there, Kelly. I like it. Genetics was how they procreated. They didn't have to have sex, as like it is today. And they are messing with genetics. Now, this was on my interview with Gary Wayne. This video here I created. And yeah, that was a interesting video, and it was about the Nephilim, where I talked with the author Gary Wayne, the author of the Genesis 6 conspiracy. And I like his work. I think he's onto a lot of things. I think he's a fascinating guy, and he has a lot to offer. And he's put a lot of time and effort into compiling the evidence necessary to prove that the Nephilim were here once, and people worship them, and they're still here today. So this is what this message is in response to. The Nephilim were created not by flesh and blood sex, but by genetic engineering, because that's what we can do today in labs. And maybe it is possible that before everything was destroyed, what the world was a lot like this, maybe to some extent, or the technology was far more archaic looking, but more advanced in its nature and its capabilities. So perhaps they could have done genetic engineering in a lab of sorts to create the Nephilim, rather than actually come down and mate with human women. But it does seem to me that the Bible says clearly, all the documents say beings came from the sky and had sex with women and created giants. That's the story, not even just in the Bible, but all the myths, all across the world say the exact same thing. And they don't leave out the detail that they rape and have sex with women. And it's just the way it is. It seems like the most straightforward way of creating the Nephilim, if you ask me, far more simpler, I guess, than genetic engineering. But it's possible they were doing these things. I can't deny. I wasn't there. I can only go off conjecture. I think Gary would agree. Yeah, they were definitely doing some kind of genetic engineering in the past. Nephilim weren't just giants. They were like chimerid hybrid animals as well. There were many animals molded into one. They had like the head of an eagle, the body of a lion, and wings, and the snake, the tail of a serpent, and all these crazy looking entities, like the Baphomet, the goat-headed man, and the centaurs, and all these type of things. So to make that happen, it does. It's said that they had sex with the animals too, and they created offspring. Now, I guess that's a very human way of putting it, if they're being symbolic, for they messed with the genetic code of animals and mix the seed of one kind with another in a lab. That's possibly could mean that too. So I'm not discounting that. It's an interesting topic. You guys should definitely all look into it if you haven't looked into that already. You can go to my channel and check out this video here. I put a lot of time and effort into adding pictures to every single topic and word we talk about in rapid succession. So you'll enjoy watching it too, I hope, if not just listening to it. But that's a very popular video. People seem to enjoy it, and it was a real treat to talk to Gary. It really was. Self-made olive man said yesterday, do another live stream already. And I did respond to this. I will do soon. A busy work week and month, with it being Christmas time and all. Tomorrow night is my plan, and here I am fulfilling my promise to you. I am here tomorrow night from your time, if you're in America, I assume, doing another live stream. So I hope you're here to listen to this, because it's all for you, self-made Olive Man. All of this is for you. You better appreciate it. This is an old video. Anonymous, take off the mask. This one got quite a few likes and dislikes, really. It wasn't my most popular, I don't think. But I know it seems to have changed from what I remember. More people have liked it previously. But I remember this being not too popular when it started. It hasn't got I anticipated. Last I checked, it was only on about 500, I think. But it was a while ago. And as I respond here to Johan Bakmir, Anonymous has already taken off the mask in plain sight. The fact that the mask is a representation of the face of Guy Fawkes, a Catholic internationalist who was promised canonization if he could succeed in destroying the English Parliament, and James I of England, an attempt to do so under the spiritual direction of Henry Garner, the Jesuit priest, who was his confessor, and the night before they attempted to blow up the Parliament, he said Mass. Now, it's a bit of a hodgepodge phrase there, but I guess what he's saying is Anonymous has taken off the mask in plain sight. I do wonder, because the second half of that thing about the Jesuit priest and, the Guy Fawkes doesn't really mean anything to your first statement. So this is one thing I can't really understand about this paragraph, I guess, you've sent me. Now, I don't think Anonymous have necessarily taken off the mask. They've just, they are, well, I guess they have, but they're no longer Anonymous. Anonymous has kind of disappeared. And what we have now is like phase 2 of Western civilization destabilization, and now we have the social justice warriors and the SJWs and the liberals and the left-wing extremists protesting for social justice. That's what we have now, and it's essentially the same thing: anti-capitalist, anti-Western, anti-white, anti-big government, well, anti-government in any way, shape, or form type of ideologies. So they're not wearing masks anymore. They are blazingly out in the open. But Anonymous itself has disappeared. I think I replied to this. And it was, this is an old video, man, not one of my best. My point was that hiding behind a mask of anonymity is cowardice. The movement is clearly controlled opposition, whose slogan, "We are Legion," is a direct quote from the Bible, spoken by a group of demons. I'll add to this, inside a certain man. Jesus said, "What is your name?" or something like that, and they said, "We are Legion, for we are many." And "We are Legion, for we are many" was the catchphrase, the self-proclaimed slogan of the movement of Anonymous. So what is Anonymous but a legion of demons? That's literally what they were referring to themselves as. It's a little bit on the nose. If for controlled opposition, that's a bit too obvious, and I think they underestimated just how perceptive Christians would be towards such a statement in the spiritual sense. So maybe they had to get rid of Anonymous, I wonder now, because of this, because they had overdone it a little bit and made it too obvious that they were clearly controlled opposition. They had to just disappear and reorganize themselves, and now they've just openly gone for the full left-wing politics type activist. Yeah, Anonymous, I think maybe it's still underground. There might be some hardcore hackers out there still who do major hacks against big corporations who are, sticking it to the man. I don't necessarily think it's useful, and the whole idea of wearing the mask is not good. It turns people off, it scares people, and when people have a mask on, they change, man. They become something else. And when you have a mask on, you feel empowered, almost possessed, you could say, to do things you wouldn't normally do without the mask. And it's usually some form of destruction or rebellion. And wearing a mask messes with your mind. This is really a movement designed to make Westerners hate and rebel against their own countries and systems through useless gatherings that only cause fear from ordinary onlookers. So that's my point there, I guess, more concise. Consider Anonymous the precursor to the current mass protests we see from socialist left against all forms of nationalism. Now we have the infamous SJWs and Antifa, who also cover their faces. Antifa put black masks on and wave the communist flag around. Anonymous were the original useful idiots. Now we have a much bigger problem. And I agree, what we have going on now with this social justice craziness is, it's scaring the hell out of me. I can see this as like a new Nazism, this is the new Gulag situation. These people have death and destruction at the root of their drive. They want to destroy, not build or create. These people, mainly consisting of people from my generation, the millennial generation, I guess I was just on the verge of being a millennial. I'm an old millennial, I guess. But many people younger than me as well and around my age are heavily indoctrinated with this stuff, man. I saw it in the universities when I did when I did my art degree. I've seen this. It's horrendous. It's scary, the level that this social Marxist propaganda has got to, and how fervently vicious and ignorant and impossible to have ideologically possessed these social justice warriors are in their beliefs of socialism and communism and evil white patriarchy, the feminism, third wave feminist cancer argument, these horrible, fat, ugly, purple-haired, pierced, tattooed mental cases who hate all men, and hate all, especially white men, and proclaim racist and fascist over the simplest of opinions and remarks that are even just remotely socially, conservative, in some sort of way. These people are dangerous, and I hope, and I think I see that many people are waking up now and seeing this sham for what it truly is. I wonder if we have enough time to push back before they do something crazy with the mass amounts of establishment backup and power they currently have. The extreme left-wing socialist ideologies that just pervade the news and movies and films and articles and newspapers, and the police as well, seem to back all these things. It seems like they have the law and the systems on their side right now. So I wonder if they haven't too much power. And getting on to the conspiracy idea here, I do realize this whole thing is manufactured by the Illuminati, we call them, but the hidden hands, the controllers, the wickedness in high places, these people who are pulling strings and touching nerves and pushing people in certain directions like a game of chess with us. All of this is the chaos so they can form the order. All of this is, I guess, it's just one aspect they could run with and they are running with, and if it fails, they'll have something else to go with. They'll be, if it wasn't anonymous, then we'll try the SJWs. If the SJWs don't work, well, I'm sure we'll have something else next. They will get the socialist utopia in the end. But we know it ends with mass genocide. Even the Georgia Guidestones say maintain humanity under 500 million. That's 6.5 billion people they need to get rid of. Imagine that number. How do you do that? I think their plan is to make us kill each other. Civil war, cause the chaos, and then out of the ashes they'll build their new world order phoenix. Yes, this is why I'm scared. It's happening faster than I anticipated. When I started this stuff in 2012, I was wondering whether or not Nibiru would turn up, and whether the Mayan calendar is going to dictate the end of the world. And now I'm starting to think, I think it did dictate that the end of the world has begun, because this is quick. This is quick, where we've come to in 5 years and how the world has changed and how attitudes have changed and how polarized everyone's become is just shocking. I didn't know it could be so fast. And I guess it hasn't been fast. This has been in 20 years in the making, and it's just boomed and come to full blossom now and sprouted its ugly feminist petals everywhere, and it's just spewing its pollen all over the place now. This is horrible movement of communism. It's just communism, and did we learn nothing from the 20th century? God damn it. scares the hell out of me. Now, let's check the chat section here quickly. I'm going to have a look on my phone and see what people have to say. Keep up the good work, man. With videos, God bless. Oh, thanks, I will. I absolutely appreciate your ministry, says V-More28. Thanks for the work you do. No, I don't call it, well, I wouldn't call this a ministry. You know, people do. That's fine. But don't think I have all the answers or that I'm anything great in particular. You know, I'm just a guy with a YouTube channel who likes to talk about conspiracy theories. And I'm a Christian, yes, thanks to doing my research into all of this. You know, and if this helps people stay strong in their faith and know the truth, I'm happy that this is doing that for you. I think KJ has an issue with this as well. I talk to him sometimes, and you know, about being called a ministry. You know, it's just it's a strange thing. I'll take the responsibility if you want to see it that way. But I'm not perfect, you know, and I'm not ordained to minister or anything. I haven't been trained. I'm not an expert in biblical theology, but I know a thing or two, and I guess yeah, I know a thing or two. You know, I'm not a novice, but I'm not an expert either. So that's all I have to say about that. Now let's get back into the comments and see what we can find, shall we, guys? We'll go back to the comments here. I'll close that so it doesn't lag. I often get a lot of Jew bashing. Yeah, stinking fucking Jews, as Matt Cresswell. These are the type of, you know, on YouTube you get stuff like this all the time, and this was on my Google white man white woman video, and everyone who commented on this video was basically just Jew bashing, and that's not what I was going for necessarily when I made the video. Although I do acknowledge that, yes, you know, these Khazarian fake synagogue of Satan Jews, in air quotes, you know, are pushing this agenda on us, and it seems to be heavily going against white people right now. In the video, if you haven't seen it, it basically goes into detail about how if you Google the term white man, white woman, you get images instead of a black man and a white woman, or a mixed race couple every time. You don't get because this is the thing, when you're making videos on YouTube, for example, when I want to put an image to a certain set of words to visualize when you're watching it, that set of words and what you know, embody it, you type in the specific words. So say I wanted a picture of a white man and a white woman stood next to each other, just staring at the screen, and it's to dictate the differences between the sexes, let's say. But I want a white man and a white woman next to each other. I would type in white man, white woman stood next to each other, or white man, white woman, so I get them individually just in one image. But instead you get something like this. It's just it isn't that, you know, and that's telling me there's clearly some kind of agenda behind this, whatever you want to think of race. You know, I found this heinous agenda at play here has made me more conscious that I have a race than before. You know, and I never really thought about it or cared about such a thing in the past, but now, you know, this stuff is so divisive, it can make you care about such a thing. You know, these people are causing more racism than they claim they're trying to stop, is all I'm thinking. Which again tells me, you know, we live in a sick, weird, upside down world where people are doing crazy things to us. But again, if we look at this, you know, I think I'm trying to show, yeah, Jews are the center of white genocide. The white privilege thing is also part of divide and conquer. Paul, made to disdain for all whites. I say this as an Hispanic male. They want to divide blacks, whites, Jews, Asians, Hispanics, especially to point, exactly the point you make in race baiting. Yeah, I said this is just race baiting. They want people to be divided. Your point is well made. Oh, that's great. But the thing about this whole it's the Jews thing. There's a lot of, you know, the clergy plan. There's a lot of that stuff out there, but I guess it's dangerous to talk about it on YouTube, so people want to avoid it. You know, I don't want to be the guy. I want to talk about many other things, and if it is so dangerous to talk about that it could take my channel away, I'm not going to risk that, because it seems like there are plenty of people doing that already. You know, but a lot of people seem to hound me to go on about that point, and I'm making the point. I don't disagree with you. I just can't talk about it. We can't. You know, it's not. it's you have to play the game a little bit here just to reach people, to continue the game for the longest possible amount of time. You have to make sacrifices, and if you want to learn about that stuff, go out and learn about it, you can't demand that channels do such things. I do see demands quite often. Pedophilia. This is something that I've been covering a lot. They're trying to normalize pedophiles and pedophilia and make them the new social Marxist victim class, which needs freedom from the oppressor patriarchy or whatever it is. And pedophiles need to be accepted as human beings with feelings too, and there's nothing wrong with them being attracted to children. And it's bollocks, absolute bullshit. I'm not buying it for 1 second, and it pisses me off that they would have the nerve to even attempt to do this. But the newspaper Salon did attempt to do this on their website, and did a whole bit and video interview with Todd Nickerson, the one-armed, overweight, weirdo-looking, perverted pedophile who's attracted to young girls below the age of 8, And they're talking and interviewing with nice music in the background, like they're trying to normalize him and say, he's not a bad guy, he's just misunderstood, and he's attracted to these young girls, but he would never do anything about it. He's a virtuous pedophile. To put the idea of virtue and pedophilia together is such an oxymoron and so disgusting. It sends me wild. Joan Backmere commented on this, saying it began with the normalization and acceptance of adultery, though vice exploded with the acceptance of sodomy. Now we've reached the point where they are trying to inculcate the idea of anything goes. That's guess what's the world. They want a world where it's morally relative to say what is and isn't right or wrong, and it's just an opinion. Therefore, there can be no real truth. Therefore, everything is game and anything goes. And that's total nihilism. That's total nonsense. That goes completely against humanity and common sense, and I can't agree with it. I can't agree with this. Pedophilia is okay. I'm sorry. I think that's the line no sane person can morally cross. We're not dealing with sane people, are we? Let's see what else we have down here. Show more. Just going to check the chat here quickly, guys. Jamie, what games you play on Steam? Have you seen that? Oh yeah, I have a Steam icon down there. No, I haven't played Steam in a very long time. But I'll tell you now, I do like to play Left 4 Dead 2 on there. I do like shooting zombies. It's really satisfying. Guilty pleasure of mine, guys. But I like playing video games. But I guess as a Christian, it's probably not the best thing. But I don't know. I find I analyze them more than I play them. But now I'm playing them to learn how they're trying to get one over on me and others. So I guess it's better to know than not to. And yeah, they can be fun. But video games, I understand they're a waste of time at the end of the day. Left 4 Dead 2 I play on Steam. If you want to try and add me, I go by You Conspiracy on Steam, so you can probably find me my logo's there, and I play on there sometimes. I've not played on there in a while. I actually have an Xbox One now, and I've been playing Battlefield online quite a lot. That's a bit of an insight into my life there. But yeah, I do like shooting games. I guess that's my preference. I'm trying to find horrible comments people leave me. I haven't been getting many lately, but I do get them every now and then. Oh, here's one from JC Nahundi. I really liked your older videos. This is complete trash. Unsubscribe from this fake Christian, this hollow man. It's like, what? Where did that come from? It started off so well. Like, I really liked your old videos. This is complete trash. Unsubscribe from this fake Christian, the hollow man. Where did you get all that from? How do you know I'm a fake Christian? I don't understand. Like, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm not perfect. I'm a sinner and I need him. I believe, all of it. God is real. I'll never deny that. I hope other people realize that too. I've seen the power of prayer. Yes, it's real. Believe. You know, people need to be saved, and they'll be much happier and more productive in this world if they do have Jesus with them. Trust me. You know, and I've made that clear all the time. I don't know where these people come from. I think they're just out to get me. You know? I think they just want to get under my skin, and it doesn't bother me. I like to reply to these guys with just some off the cuff sarcastic comment, because it's all they really deserve. I mean, you know, I'm not going to cast my pearls before swine. So it's like, what did I say? Sorry, I couldn't meet your standards. You know, what do you want from me, man? I'm just a guy in his shed, and I've bought a few things. I got a new camera, I got a new microphone, and I like to play with them and, you know, see what type of videos work and don't work. And most people seem to like what I'm doing, and you come along and tell people to unsubscribe from me because you liked my older videos. Well, if you liked my older videos so much, then, you know, you must be talking about the ones where I was a new age psychedelic taking hippie guy who didn't believe in Christ. Do you say you prefer those videos, my older videos, or do you prefer the new ones where I've clocked onto the truth now, and I've gone through the process of being a new ager, and I've done the research, and I've seen what is and isn't real and isn't real. You know, I've come out the other side, and I agree that, yeah, Christianity is the key, guys. Forget my older videos. You can go watch them to see my journey, but I make a lot of mistakes. I didn't know the truth then. Yo, what do you mean you like my older videos and I'm a fake Christian? These people don't know what they're talking about. Most people who give me horrible comments really don't know what they're talking about. So this is where people like, you know, who make conspiracy videos get suspicious. Like, are these people for real? Or are they just paid trolls, and people are really just out there, sat there, just trying to cause mayhem and really mess with our vibe and stop us from making videos by putting us down, because that's what they're paid to do. Is it that bad, really? You know, and it must be if this sort of shit all the time. Let's see and here's another one. You really do not understand the Mandela effect. What do you mean? What's to understand? There's thousands of theories. You know, I make it clear in this comment, in this reply as well. So let me guess. It's not that things are changing around us, but actually everyone is shifting into a new reality, individually based on their own perspectives and intentional energy, meaning we are all experiencing different things and different realities to one another, and constantly shifting into new realities individually. Or maybe time has actually stopped, and we are all watching the decay of reality itself as time no longer ticks things along, and everything dissolves until there's nothing left but our original essence. Maybe that's what that is. Or is it all in the control of certain people with like CERN and D-Wave, and there's evil, nefarious people out there editing the reality and the code of the world, so things have changed in the past? Or is it one of the thousands of other concepts that have been said over and over? You know, you say I don't understand the Mandela effect. It's just disingenuous, man. I've done my research. I have one of the biggest videos out there on this when the thing first came out, like a viral video, you know, where I'm talking with a new age guy about it. So I want to hear what he has to say, and I have my Christian perspective, you know. Yeah, we disagreed. But, you know, I've thought about all the angles. So what do you mean I don't understand? And it seems like, what does he say? Your opinions are based on outside observations only. Am I right? And not having any first-hand experience with the Mandela effect. To anyone who has truly experienced this effect firsthand, it seems that you are simply trying to rationalize it so it makes sense to you. So what do you mean? Everyone's truly experienced the Mandela effect. Man, I swear down, and it freaked the hell out of me. That Interview with a Vampire on the DVD cover had a huge big red letter A on it. I remember seeing it at my friend's house when we watched it. He was buzzing about this film. It was his favorite film, and he was shocked I hadn't seen it. I held the DVD cover in my hand. It had a big V on it at the time. And now in the future, you know, it turns out it's Interview with the Vampire. It's all in block capitals, white, with no big A in the middle anymore. And even he was shocked that what the hell, my DVD cover has changed. You know, but he went into lockdown mode and never thought about it ever again. You know, I remember blue ribbons. But now I go into the shop, I see blue ribbons with a D at the end, and it's like, what the hell is this? You know, I've experienced the Mandela effect firsthand. I get something trippy as a foot, but I don't let it destroy and make my life and make me go crazy like it has so many people in the Mandela effect. And that was the point I was trying to make in that video. That, you know, people have gone on to the Mandela effect, and they've lost their fucking minds. They've become lunatics and depressed and crying heaps and messes, you know, and have completely like just crumbled and melted under the pressure of that. The reality is constantly changing. And yeah, I agree, minor details and aesthetics have changed, but the fundamental cores of reality are still present. Morality is still here. What isn't right or wrong, which is what we're supposed to be focusing on, still exists. You know, and knowledge is still preserved in our own souls and minds, even though it's changed around us. We have mouths and voices and words that can share information to one another. You know, all hope is not suddenly lost because the Berenstein Bears is now the Berenstain Bears. You know? So what? I guess is my final verdict on that. Live your life fearlessly. Who cares? Let them change it. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change you and how you act in the world. And that's all that should matter. And if it is changing who you are and how you act in the world, maybe if it is a big psyop, it's working on you. You need to be effective in this world. And that doesn't mean watching YouTube videos constantly and researching the truth, all theory, no practice. What is right. Be a good participating member of society in your local community and make everyone else's lives better. You know, we live in a devastated kingdom and we need to grow the hell up. You know, we need to put things back in place enough that it isn't so much chaos for everyone else who has to live in it. That's basically the biblical message. And if you're not doing that in whatever ways you can, you know, just keep it simple. Keep it simple, man. Just help the guy next to you make his day at work a little bit better. Make people happy by just being a good person in whatever way you can. And that's how you make real changes in this world. And that's how you know, win this. But if you're living in fear because you're too scared to go out into the world and talk to people anymore because for some reason you're no longer connected with the rest of humanity because your newfound awareness, you've got a problem. You know, that's what I want to encourage people to do with this channel. I want people to realize you need to go out there and still live your life, man. It's all well and good knowing this stuff, and yes, know it and do your research and watch the videos, but do something else as well. Learn new skills, read books, read the greats, read the classics, you know, understand your history and where you come from and where we all come from. Get a hobby, learn a skill, learn an instrument, start drawing or something, start playing a sport or going to the gym. You know, Jesus came to give us life more abundantly, to make us have life, be guilt-free and live and be happy and be good to one another. You know, you have to go out there and accept the gift and do it. You know, stop crying over your shortcomings. Yes, you're a sinner. Yes, you will not ever stand up to the standards of God, but it's okay. That's what Jesus died for. You just believe that and carry on and try. Just try. Be good. You know, and live your life. Get a job if you haven't got one already. Be productive. It'll help you massively. If you're just stuck in a rut, just constantly researching conspiracy all the time and haven't gone out there and lived and socialized and experienced things and met new people, had new experiences, learned, gained wisdom, you know, gain new skill sets and build your way up in a work environment, you know, do something physical, do something useful, make yourself useful to others. You're gonna die. You know, that kind of lifestyle of not doing any of those things and just focusing on this stuff constantly, day in, day out, making no changes or positivity in your own life, you know, you'll just wither and die. That's what I went off on one thanks to the Mandela effect there. I see the same with the flat earth too, I'm being honest. The same thing with people who become so obsessed they lose themselves and they're possessed by the concept rather than, you know, emboldened and wizened by the concept and strong enough to carry on. Yeah, I call it plateauing, I guess. They plateau on one particular theory and never go any higher. They latch on to one particular concept and embody it. I think that's dangerous thinking, especially when you're dealing with such sensitive, paradigm-shifting subjects. Keep your options open, guys. Yeah, I get, like I said, he's a flat Earth comment. You know, I found the truth in God after proving the Earth was not a globe. Yeah, I see a lot of that. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, man. I also get a lot of people commenting saying flat Earth is a psyop to make Christians look stupid. Which one is it? Which one is it? I see both perspectives, and I love you both. You know, I like the fact that you're thinking and you're trying to, theorize and get your own ideas out there. But it's like one of them's got to be true, and I don't know. I don't know. I side with understanding NASA has lied to us about the nature of reality. Is it flat? Is it a globe? I don't know. I don't know. I've never been to space, and I cannot know. It's one of those things where it doesn't affect me knowing or not. It might affect you personally, but I've seen it. People get so lost and obsessed with the idea that they lose themselves, like the Mandela effect, and it's sad. It's actually sad to watch, and it's not a good look. I agree with a lot of these comments that it's a psyop to make us look stupid. Well, even if it's true, it's definitely making us look stupid with the way people react about it. A lot of people live in fear about it. The New Agers freak out a lot more than the Christians, I find, and then start coming up with all sorts of crazy fantasies to explain it. But I won't go there right now. I'm just going to check the comment section in the chat for the show, see what other people are saying. Oh, wow, there's been a lot of comments, guys. Sorry, I'm losing track. Jolly old Jewy England will throw your ass in the clink and the key and lose the keys if you speak honestly about the synagogue of Satan. Maybe you get it, guys. Shadow in the Mask, lol, exactly. Fun to deconstruct. Ark, fun game. Ark, yeah, yeah, Ark, exactly. Yeah, Noah's Ark and everything else. It's a game with dinosaurs in that one as well, which is also said to be a myth in the conspiracy circles. Jamie says, I'm commenting on Noel Plum video where he's asking why atheists are hated. Have you seen it? No, I haven't seen that myself. Event Skeptic. You have always been a great, calm, needed voice. Thank you, mate. Oh, thanks, Event Skeptic. It's nice to see you, by the way. It's been a while since I've seen you in the chat. I've not watched your videos in a while, but I'm not sure if you've even been making videos in a while. Well, I haven't been seeing them anyway. Yeah, I'm glad you like my voice. It's actually a lot calmer and slower today because my throat's a little bit shot. So I guess it makes me sound a little bit deeper and smoother. So yeah, I guess when you close the door, God opens a window. Whatever. Toriagami, your comedic stylings become evident extra funny when you're tired. Lol. Totally right about Interview with a Vampire, by the way. Yeah. Well, I am tired, guys. I mean, it's 10 to 2 in the morning for me. And, I mean, like I said, I'm working today. I've done an 8-hour shift today, and I've only had 4 hours to settle. But I'm off tomorrow. I get to have a fat lie-in, and I'm happy about that. So this is my only chance. I only have a day off, and then I'm back in again until after the weekend. So this is my only night free to stay up late and do this with you guys, because I know the time zone is massive. For you, it's probably just turning 6 in the evening, and people are just coming back from work or eating the dinner or tea or whatever it is you call it over there. And so I have to do it late just to get the audience and to get most people. And surprisingly not, because I do it myself. I know a lot of conspiracy theorists in the UK are probably up till early hours in the morning listening to this as well, maybe laying in bed, just chilling with it or playing on the phone or something, because that's what we all do. I assume what I do is what everyone else is doing in this world too, because you just can't stop learning. You can't stop listening to lectures and learning more about things every day. So yeah, this is probably the best time for the late night English conspiracy theorists and those coming back from work in America after a long day on the 9 to 5. So I hope this timing works. If you guys would recommend, should I do it a couple of hours later or earlier, let me know in the chats, because that would be very useful, because I don't really know what time it is for most people who are listening, the regular viewers like yourself. So let me know if this is a good time, or if you'd like it to be a little bit later or maybe earlier. That'd be great. Amen. It's Mariso about how you, it's more so about how you live than what you believe once you found Jesus. Yeah, well, it's the way, isn't it? It's the way to live, I guess, is what he tried to show us, you know. I'm not dogmatic about the whole way of living, you know. I'm being open and transparent and honest with you guys. I guess I'm not a good Christian by the church legalistic standards. You know, I like smoking cannabis, and I don't see the big problem with it that most people seem to have. I don't drink alcohol. I rarely get drunk, and when I do, it's only to celebrate a specific occasion, and I very rarely enjoy it. Cannabis for me has never affected my life in a way like it does others, because I have other things to do, and it isn't my life. It's just something I do to calm down after work and relax and enjoy myself. I don't do them before the show because it's just effort, and why would I bother, you know? But I do when I can, you know, do. That's my only vice I can think of. But in my day-to-day life, when I'm at work or with friends and family, I'm active. I'm creative. Do a lot of photography and art. You know, I do a lot of things, and I try and bring as much joy to everyone around me as I can, you know, and I help the public where I work in the supermarket, you know, and I put 110% into my job. I get promoted. I've never not had a job, you know. I, I guess, but I've seen other people where it's ruined their life because and they like to blame it for why their life is terrible. I don't think it's the drug why their life is terrible most of the time. When it comes to cannabis, there's usually something else wrong that they're avoiding, and they're using cannabis to avoid it. I'm not really running away from much, so I don't know. Yeah, being honest with you guys again, I guess, you know. So I'm not perfect. This is why when people say I'm a ministry, it's like, well, maybe I'm not the best role model to look up to, if you want to call it a ministry, you know. I'm not perfect, but I don't think anyone else is either. And I don't believe these self-righteous Christians who comment on my channel are really dogmatic about being pure and perfect. And it's kind of like, yeah, good luck with that. You know, Jesus definitely convicts me when I know I'm sinning, you know. But life isn't as easy as just not sinning, I've found. We live in a fallen world. We're surrounded with it. I'm probably breaking many laws and sinning without even realizing it on a daily basis, just like the rest of us. Just like when it comes to man-made law, you're probably breaking 10 laws a day and you haven't got a clue. You know what I mean? How often have you streamed something illegally or down there or whatever it is, and you've just not given it two thoughts? I assume I'm breaking many of God's laws every day without even realizing it, just like man's laws, you know. That's why Jesus came, you know, to free us from that burden of being so bogged down with whether or not I'm doing good enough. No, I'm not. No one is. That's the point. No one's good enough. No one's doing well enough. You know, everyone's messed up, man. This world is falling to hell in a handbasket, and we're going with it. And that's why we need to be saved. You know, that's the point. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying here. It's a lot to think about when you become a Christian. You know, you go through a lot of emotions, and I guess I would call myself a non-denominational Christian. I believe in God. I believe Jesus died for my sins, and I understand that morality is real. I don't deny morality, you know, and I try my best to be my best. And I guess I hope this is good advice to people out there who are struggling with their faith. You know, when you're on YouTube and you're on this, you can get involved in these online cults, I guess they are, you know, where you really get so dogmatic in these particular video makers' ways of viewing it that you start to copy the way they are, and you think you have to be a certain way to be a good Christian. You just be yourself, man. God made you to be you. He made you to be free. He made you to be the individual that you are. You know, he made you to be who you want to be and to live up to your best potential if you will just try. You know, and if he sees you try, he will help. You know, he who has everything, more will be given. To he who has nothing, more will be taken away. And that's just a rule of this world. You know, and it seems a bit cruel at first, but it's not cruel. It's just like a mathematical principle that's built into the way the world works. You know, those who help themselves will get help from God, I guess is a good way of putting it. I think there is a name for it in scientific psychological terms. I can't remember. It's not the Pareto distribution, but there's a name for this. but the Bible said it first, you know. And it's the idea that once you have one success, more successes are just around the corner. And you will have life more abundantly if you'll just help yourself and step out in faith and try. You know, try to do something for you and for everyone else. Something that is not going to destroy the world, but hopefully make it better, not only for you, but for everyone else and everyone else in the future. You know, your decisions should always be made with that in mind. And I think that's being a Christian. That's living in the way, you know, of what's asked of us. This is what I think, you know. And again, dogmatic people will give me verses left, right, and center, maybe. But I don't think what I'm saying is away from the fundamental core message that they're trying to get out there. You know, people were vicious in the past and based on honor killings, and they didn't understand morality until Jesus really came. Well, not like we understand now. There was a lot less love in the past than there is today, thanks to when Jesus came. And it's because of this principle the Western world is built on, and why we're so successful and have such a great comfort and standard of living, is that we know we worked harder in harsher conditions and we created more for ourselves. And as a result of our success, more was given to us and we've created more and it's developed faster. We see it with technology as well. Once you have one thing, within 5 years, it's 10 times better. Within another 2 years, it's 100 times better. It's exponential, you know, and it's the same with your own life. Start with small things, make things better for your life in small doses here and there, and things will get better on top of that, you know, more so. But if you, it's like when you're on a losing streak, if you lose something, or like say you get in a lot of debt because you got a credit card. Now, because of that, now you are losing more money monthly, and something else, if something goes wrong, you won't have the money to pay that off because you're already in debt to this other situation. So then when that time does come around, it's much worse for you. And then before you know, you're bankrupt because you had to switch these debts around and you have to sell your house. And then because you did that, your wife left you and your family left you and now you're homeless. That's how the world works. Things get bad fast. You have to be vigilant. You have to stay on top of it. You have to be wise and intelligent and calm. You have to be real, realistic with the world. You know, you have to be balanced on this. And you know, the way isn't about being self-righteous and turning your nose up to other people around you because they aren't Christian. It's understanding, well, it doesn't matter. They're still human and we're here together, man. And we have to work together and we have to do what we can to make sure life isn't hell while we're here for ourselves and everyone else around us. And you don't do that by shunning people. You do it with love, openness, forgiveness, you know, and seeing each other as you would see yourself, whether they're Christian or whatever they are, it doesn't matter. That's the way of Christ. It's not really a religion, you know, and it's not the Catholic Church. It's not Protestantism. It's not the Lutheranism. It's not these things. It's not a group of people with an idea. It's not a movement. It's the way. It's the truth. You know, it's life. It's the light. It's the Son of God. It is God incarnate. You know, it's God in us. It's how it should be. It's how if we were to just be that way, life wouldn't be so bad here on earth. But it isn't. So, you know, those who know and believe and have faith hopefully can make it a little bit better before the end comes. This is the kind of sad truth about it. You know, I think humans are in such a state and the devil has had his way that people are going to see this to the end. You know, and there will have to be an intervention. And that was predicted, as in Revelations. God will come down and put an end to it all. And I can see why it has to come to that, you know. Which is why we have to work harder to make sure as many people are ready for that when it comes. Well, I went on a bit of a rant there, guys. Sorry. Where are we at now? We've been going for an hour, which is cool. Let's open up the chat and see what people are saying. VMore28 said, if the Mandela effect is this disruptive, can you imagine what the Great Deception will be like? It'll take the Holy Spirit to not fall for that. Yeah. It's going to be... A lot of people say the Mandela effect is the Great Deception. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. See here again, we have Jamie saying it's not flat. Effie is there to distract from real stuff. Well, you say that, you know, I get it. I can see how it can be used to psychologically manipulate people, but also there's a lot of evidence to say we've been lied to as well, and that it might be flat. We don't really know. It could be holographic. It could be repeating itself in some fractal weird way. It might not even be there at all. It could be a computer simulation for all I know. I just know that believing in the heliocentric model definitely puts emphasis on the sun, and sun worshippers rule the world in that respect. A lot of it's just very suspect. All the math is very suspect. A lot of 666 is thrown in here and there, you know. And as long as we believe we're small and insignificant, then God can remain out of the picture in most people's eyes. You know, and that way of viewing it makes us worse off. So I can't justify. I know that. That probably sounds crazy to atheists and scientific-minded people, doesn't it? I realize what that sounds like. This guy isn't using any logic at all. But when you're in the conspiracy world, you look at the symbolism more than the math, you know, and you can kind of discern from that whether it's good or bad, you know. And the heliocentric model screams bad to me on a soul level, you know. And I went through the same school systems you went through. I learned the same stuff you did in high school and primary school, and I've gone through the same indoctrination process. I understand everything you believe about the way the universe works and how it all started. I'm just choosing to not believe it. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. It doesn't sound right to me. It sounds impossible. I can't, as an artist, I can't conceive how something can just manifest from nothing. I don't get it. That is impossible. It's gibberish. There has to be a creator. There has to be an outside external force which made it happen, you know, and gave it the code and structure and mathematical principles, the laws of physics. So I have to, I just believe in God, you know. It's where I've logically come to in my own mind. I went off a bit on a tangent. But yeah, you know, the flat earth, who knows? I don't particularly care. Again, it doesn't affect my life like it does others. I really don't care. But it is interesting. I see it as a valid theory to go on the list of conspiracy theories. That's definitely interesting regarding cannabis. I've been confused about this subject biblically for a while. Do you smoke it, conspiracy? Just got here. Sorry if he already stated. Yes, I do. I do. And you know, I used to be ashamed. I'm not really ashamed of it. I don't care. I don't think it affects me like it does many other people. It's never made my life worse. It's never made me lose anything major. It's never corrupted me. I don't believe. You know, people say, "Oh, it gives you demons," or these type of things. I just don't think that's true. I think alcohol lets demons in. Cannabis is just something else. It's a mild sedative. You know, it's a mild sedative. People take paracetamol, and I think that messes with your body on a much harsher, disgusting level than smoking some cannabis does, personally. And I can go on and on. The list goes on. All prescribed medication is terrible for you. You know, I used to suffer from migraines all the time, and I would be given incredibly strong painkillers to deal with it. Since I've started smoking cannabis regularly, those migraines have virtually disappeared. And when I do have a migraine, I find there's nothing better than smoking cannabis. It goes, and I'm happy, and the pressure on my head has disappeared, and I can think clearly, and I can actually do stuff. When I had a migraine in the past, my eyes would be aching like hell. I'd have a sharp stabbing pain shooting down the middle of my face, and I'd be paralytic on the floor. I couldn't walk. I was nauseous if I even attempt to walk or get up the stairs. I'd have to lie down in pitch black darkness and just suffer it out. Smoke some cannabis, that never happens. Just before that starts, it's gone. You know, and I can't. How can I deny such a thing? You know, that's just silly. You know, we've seen the medical benefits of cannabis now. The truth's out. I think a lot of dogma towards cannabis, a naturally occurring plant that grows on the earth, which has no negative side effects as far as I'm concerned medically. It's harmless, and the truth is out now. Medical companies lied to us about this for a long time. There's a whole conspiracy about that you can look into. There's a whole drug war, money laundering thing you can look into about the whole scandal behind why cannabis is been made illegal. You know, the timber industry, yada yada yada. And the truth is out. I don't think it's evil, and you're not condemned to hell for smoking cannabis. I just don't believe that. I think that's gibberish. If that's the case, then you know anybody who goes to hospital and has anything at all put in them is condemned to hell forever. You know, it's just absolute nonsense. Jamie, I follow God's law and common law. Good. Aaron TV says, we in Christ all try our best, brother. Amen. That's right. We try our best, and I guess that's all anyone can ask for, isn't it? Especially God. Thank God for his grace. We've all sinned and fallen short. Yeah. Like and share. We need more open discussions like this. Let's help spread the word. Yeah, please like and share this, guys, with as many people as you can. If you know people who are, conspiracy theories and seem a bit down, recommend it to them and get them to join in, and have a talk, get whatever's on their mind off their mind. I understand, because I do it myself, and I'm sure you all do too, is in between researching horrible things like we do, things that really put a downer on the perspective of what the world is, I like to listen to people talk about how they're coping with learning these things. That's just a part of the conspiracy culture, and I like to be a part of that myself. So I want to help people, just listen to someone else talk like me, me talk about how I get it. I get what you're going through, guys. I'm here too. We're not crazy. We're normal people, and we just see some things that other people are not looking at because they don't care. They have other things to do. They don't see it as important. We do. We get it's important. It's like, shit, man, if people don't realize this stuff soon, then we're in major trouble. We're here, and let's just act normal and look normal and be normal, because we are, and just tell our perspective as it is, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm hoping to, with this channel, stop the stereotype that people think we're all tinfoil hat wearing weirdos in our mum's basement. Even though technically I am in my mum's shed. I'm being honest with you guys there. But it's a concrete shed with furniture and everything, and it's my art studio. It's been an art studio for years, painting and everything. Books, you've seen it on camera before. You know what it is. So I guess I am that stereotype. I am saving for my own house, and I'm not far off. So takes time. I mean, that's something I actually personally I might as well discuss. The millennial housing market is terrible. I'm not a new case. 25-something university graduates still live with their parents. It's actually the norm now. That is what happens to about 80% of most university students, because it's just impossible to get onto the property ladder. The prices are through the roof. It is crazy, and wages are so low now. It's just impossible, absolutely impossible. Especially this is in the UK, and there aren't enough graduate jobs with high-paying wages going around when you leave uni. And because of the rise as well of useless courses that don't get you a job anyway, which most people do, when they come out of university, they can only get a low-paying job because the degree is just a really expensive piece of paper. So, yeah, my situation is really common. It's not just conspiracy theorists who are stuck in this kind of situation. It's the whole world of millennials. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I want people to realize we're all going through the same shit as everybody else. We just like to look at weird stuff online and think you should all probably be looking at this too. That's it. That's it. That's all any conspiracy theorist or truther or whatever it is trying to do. It's like, man, you need to check this shit out. It's serious. Like, I know you just want to play video games or you just watch football or whatever, but man, seriously, you need to look at this. I don't want to be that buzzkill. I don't want to bring you down your vibe, but seriously, yeah, you have to start looking into this shit because we haven't got much time. Speaking of time, I don't want to go too late tonight, guys. I'm going to go for another 20 minutes, okay? And just letting you know that now. Keep it an hour and a half. That should be cool. Let's have a look at some more comments that people have left. Oh, well, this one's lovely. Some people, like, this is in regards to the pedophilia video I was talking about earlier. Gabriel Silva says, should I say, some people like dead corpses. Some very minor percentage of people have weird, twisted fetishes, man. But the majority is just like you. Do not take that Do not take the exception, choose to see it as the rule. And that Christian morality of yours, you can shove it up your ass. These people need to take the time to talk about this unconventional, harmful preferences and be helped to overcome them. He has a human body like you do, and this dehumanizing judgment that you do just proves how fear-based your view is. And I replied, nice try, pedophile sympathizer. Your twisted logic doesn't work here. Get help. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that comment. It's like, man, can't you just see that your twisted Christian morality is just ruining everything? I mean, he's just a human being with feelings, man. He needs help through this. While, you know, he's watching child pornography and possibly thinking about, or perhaps raping children. We need to sympathize with this guy. You know, I think, personally, I think a person who's done something morally reprehensible should be punished for that. So more people who consider doing something morally reprehensible think twice about doing that. I know you want to be loving and caring by letting these people off the hook, but if you let one pedophile free, you let them all free. It's a slippery slope, man. I know people like to argue, oh, but that's the slippery slope fallacy. It's like, well, yeah, it's the slippery slope argument. It's still valid. It still happens. Whether you want to call it a fallacy is your prerogative, man, but it's still true. That's all I have to say. See, as you can tell, pedophilia, this whole thing gets me pissed off. It's one of those things I can't even believe we have to be arguing about. It's not something when I got into this I thought would be a battle that would seriously become in the forefront of the truth of culture. It's like, fuck this, man. This is sick. People are too far gone if this is the type of shit people comment when you try and say, look at this pedophile. Isn't he a bad person? Oh, you evil bigot. You know what I'm saying? No, apparently he's not a bad person. All right, fine. Whatever. Let's have a look. I do comment. I've realized now I can't comment a lot of sarcasm back. But I don't know. I don't have time for stupidity, man. I really don't. I mean, none of us have time for that shit. Comment something stupid, I'm going to be entertaining with my comments back because life's too short to, you know, argue. And most of your arguments are gibberish most of the time anyway. Then you think you've won something, and it's like, man, I don't even care what you just said. You think arguing with me is a victory for you? Terrible. I get a lot of nice comments though about people's testimonies with demons. In this video where I've done where it says how demons work, people send some fantastic comments, you know, about sharing their own experiences with demonic oppression and attack, and how Jesus saved them when they called on his name, and it's wonderful. It's great to know that other people out there have experienced the same thing and have the same verifiable evidence, first-hand account evidence, you know, that calling on the name of Jesus Christ will help you during a demonic attack significantly. I have my own experience explaining there, and yes, it saved my life. And it works, man. It works, and many other people have confirmed that for me in the comments. So go check the comments out on this if you haven't already. That's quite interesting. Or if you haven't already, listen to that testimony. It gives you a bit of a backstory of the demonic experiences I've had. They aren't all covered in that video. You know, you realize you have more than you think. You know, and looking back, I realize I've been heavily demonized, I guess is the best phrase for it. Especially my nightmares and dreams as well, which I've written down, which I might share with you guys someday. But you know, dreams are a funny thing. Not everyone wants to hear them, but if you guys want to hear them, let me know in the chat. That'd be cool. You know, but I've had a lot of funky demonic dream experiences, and I'm sure you guys probably have too, to be honest, being in this world. Let's have a quick look at some of what people say in the chat. Let's catch up here. Shroom Fairy, nice to see you. It's good to see you again. You hear him every time, and it's really something. I like it. Bulgism likes to use half truth. Is that Jerinism you're talking about there? Fair enough, man. Like I said, I really don't care about this flat earth. Wow, it is late. This flat earth thing, I really don't care, like, to get into this argument. It's just so divisive and useless. You know, it's so useless when children are being raped and sacrificed to the devil every year consistently. It's like, my God, get your priorities straight. Even if it is flat, what are you going to do about it? It's always been flat. So what? Be useful, man. The earth, you still have to get a job. You still have to have money and have children and raise a family and get a house and do everything else a human being should be able to do in the short time we have here. And crying and worrying and arguing about the shape of the earth is just such a useless waste of that time. It's not at all what God intended for us. That's just my opinion. I'm allowed to have it, you know. You're a shill because you don't agree with the flat earth. You're trying to put, you know, whatever. I don't care. That's just my opinion. RNTV, I hear you entirely regarding cannabis, but there's a point many of the people have made that makes me personally suspicious, and that's how much the mainstream music industry, at least in the US. Yeah, but again, it affects people differently than it affects others. I think if you're a waster who has never had a job and is constantly getting into criminal activity and your life is shit and you're lonely and whatever, they want more people smoking cannabis because those people get worse. You know, so he who has nothing more will be taken away. You know, but when it comes to somebody whose life is good and positive and they don't really have anything going wrong with them, they've got money, they've got income, and they're happy and healthy, smoking cannabis only enhances that situation and, you know, makes you happier and chilled and you have nothing to worry about because your life is in order. If your life isn't in order and you're getting high all the time, you're just making your problems worse. If your life is in order and you get high every now and then, just, you know, to chill out and enjoy life, then there's no problem because you have no other problems to deal with. Cannabis isn't the problem. It's the excuse for all your problems. And that's the way I see it. God's armor. Exactly. They would rather argue about the shape of this messed up world instead of caring about how to make it better. Well, it's not true. You know, I like some flat earthers out there. I like the videos. I watch them, man. I get it. You know, I get it. I'm with you guys. You know, let's research and get to the bottom of the truth because we've been lied to. I get it, man. I'm not. I don't hate all like flat earthers. I just don't like what it's becoming. This movement of stuckism. They're all stuck. Well, not all of them, but most of them are stuck on it. You know, and it's ruining their lives, man. It's not making them healthy people. And I worry about it. I don't think it's loving to encourage it, like the obsessiveness behind it. We should point it out and help these people, you know. But that isn't to say stop researching. Not at all. Not at all. You know, in the spirit of truth, we have to keep researching these things and keep going. Who knows? You know, who knows what it'll uncover. Jamie says, we have free will and no commandment saying you can't do drugs. It says don't abuse them. Like drink, but don't get too drunk until you pass out and die from it, for example. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's all things in tempered reason. Don't abuse anything. Use it responsibly. You know, be reasonable with them. It's all there. Jamie said, to get a flat, I had to get a letter from my mum saying she's kicked me out. Then I had to tell council I will suicide unless I get a place, so they refused to help me. Well, man, that's pretty dark. I'm sorry. It sounds bad, but it had to be done, smiley face, and it worked. Yeah, well, that's playing the system if you know how, fair enough. But, you know, um, it's much better. I mean, what they give you for free through the socialist system isn't really living, in my opinion. You can have a much happier, more productive life if you work and earn what you have. It not only helps you have more money, but it also helps you feel more confidence and give you and self-respect, you know, which is important. It is important. It's not easy to navigate the world and respect others if you don't have respect for yourself first. And, you know, stealing resources for free from people who are giving handouts are never going to be high quality or as good as earning your own money and making your own way. And that's the way I see it, and that's the advice I have to give on that one, you know. True and fairy. Yes, listening is always good. I find myself taking in so much info these days. I don't even know how to explain it to the average person I come across. Yeah, well, it's hard to explain it to anyone, isn't it? You know, like your friends and your family and anyone at all. And you have those moments when you're with like a social group of people who, you know, like a work group or something, and they say something about a particular topic, and you know something about it. They don't, you know, like a weird angle to it about the truth, you know. And they're going and how they're kind of being deceived a little bit. And you have to think to yourself, like, do I bother trying, you know, say, aha, but have you thought about this? You know, do I bother interjecting and saying, you do realize, you know, that that's all a lie. It's actually all about this and secretly doing this. You can't, do you really want to do that? Because sometimes, you know, people aren't going to take it, and you have to be really careful and selective about who you're going to talk to this stuff about. You know, and if you're like me, you know, once you get going, it's impossible to stop. So I have to be very careful about whether or not I'm going to start that conversation, because I can never leave it at just nothing. And, you know, no, I have to impart all the information at once. I find it difficult to cut off my stream of consciousness, we'll call it. Let's have a look down here and see what we can see. Last 7 minutes now, guys. Tell you what, for the last 7 minutes, I want you guys to leave comments about any particular topic you want me to talk about or you want to discuss. Just say the name of it, whatever it is, if you want a quick opinion or so forth, and then we'll summarize from there, I think, guys. Been good. Let's have a look what's going on here. Christian Pepper, can I take DMT as a Christian? You can. I wouldn't recommend it simply because where you're going is not good. It'll look beautiful. It'll give you a very interesting insight into the nature of reality and how the world is designed and structured with geometry and the code and how it isn't so physical. And you'll see the other side of this world, where all the lines are connected, like a warp and woof situation. But right now it's a dangerous battlefield because it's full of demons and definitely spirits. So you can go, you know, and I hope that the power of Jesus still works there as it does here. But you might not be in for a good time, and it's like walking into no man's land. You're much safer in the trenches in this war than in no man's land, you know. And that's what the DMT realm is, you know. And you're not condemned if you go there, but man, it's dangerous. That's all I can really say about it. And if you're going to do that, you know, pray. But I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't. Toriyagami, your cosmology is the foundation of your theology. Yes, the flat earth truth is being used as a weapon of division, but it is important. Yeah, I agree. You know, I agree with that, but I don't necessarily know how the flat earth is. Is it flat? Because it's quite wavy to me when I look at hills. You know, it's not necessarily flat, it's bumpy and all over the place. And, you know, I'm not sure how it works. I just know it. I think it's mystical and mysteries, one of the mysteries of God in my eyes. And I probably won't know until I'm dead. And that's fine by me, personally. Jamie, I was young back then, so wasn't good at keeping a job at the time. Yeah, free. Yeah, fair enough. Well, we all do things when we're young, and yeah, I'm not condemning it. My cousin's on welfare and has a council flat and all these type of things, and he hasn't got the skills necessarily to do any better, which is kind of sad. He doesn't. He's going through a hard time right now, and he's actually ill and can't work and all these type of things. So again, it's like, you know, he had something taken away from him, and things just got worse. Like he got ill, so then his job was lost, and you know that's how the world works. You know, you have to be prepared for these things, and the wise man saves for these disasters. You know, prepares for the winter. You know, you have to have some savings, and you have to have some safeguards in place with life in general, because life, you know, life isn't just, you might have God on your side, but life throws a curveball at you, and every now and then it's just ominously brutal sometimes out of nowhere. You know, things that will just happen. You know, it's not all sunshine and lollipops in this world. You have to be prepared. The trannies. You want to talk about the transgendered people, do you, Tori? You got me. Yeah, the transgendered people, man, that's a tough one. I believe it. I believe most people in the media are transgendered. I've been looking more and more since watching Mr. E3000's videos about it, the Illuminati trannies. And I see it. I see what he's saying, and it does seem likely to me if these people are Baphomet Satan worshippers. And they are definitely pushing the agenda to make transgenderism or gender fluidity the norm amongst kids. And they're trying to get rid of male and female. And it's just all a part of the same dehumanization agenda. Because if you no longer see yourself as human, or there's no truth to your biological imperative anymore, or your opinion on what isn't biologically true about sex or gender, then you're more lax about whether it's important to even have a body, or maybe transfer your consciousness into a machine. It ties in with the transhumanist agenda. It's transhumanist, not simply just transgender. It's all the same. It's all the same monster. Different parts of the same monster. And there's another question here. I haven't forgotten about you there, Aaron TV. And my where is it? The first question you had was, what's your opinion on the Nephilim, man? Do you believe in one way or another they'll become physically manifest and influence our reality? Yeah, I believe they'll come back and claim to be aliens whenever they get that body of theirs, whatever it is. Whether it's made of light or something physical or holographic, or they use the chemtrails in the atmosphere to put particles together in whatever shape or form they want to create a light show for us, or they manipulate, I don't know, our consciousness so we can see them, but they might not be physically there, but they can tap into our brain waves or something. I don't know how it's going to work or what it'll look like, or maybe they'll be the robots and they'll live through robots or something and claim we have come from another dimension and inhabited the bodies of these vessels you have created for us. We have knowledge to give you and blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't know how it's going to go, but they'll be back. They will be back. And the second question was, my wife has suffered multiple back injuries, which has required me to stay at home to help her and take care of our 14-month-old son. Unfortunately, have to be on welfare and can't daycare since it requires vaccinations. Plus, we wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. It's a battle of the mind just about every day sitting at home. I would much rather be working. This is what I mean, man. I know for a man anyway, not working is rough. It really messes with our minds. I've been there, we need to be doing something productive in order to feel valuable. It's just the way we're built, Man was built to work. It's what we do. We till the ground from the very beginning to make our life and living on this world bearable. If we're not doing that, we don't feel like we're really fulfilling our purpose. And it sounds sad, I guess, like God created us some kind of slave. It's not like that. We work for our own benefit. We work to make our lives better. It's not for God, it's for us, but it's our sacrifice we make to God in the hope and faith that our life will be better because of our sacrifice in working. It's having faith at the end of the day, and not working for a man is quite rough. So I feel for you there, man. I really do feel for you. I'm sorry about your situation. I pray it turns around for you soon enough, and I'm sure it will. Your son will grow up and he'll be there to help soon as well and share the burden, and life will get better. Good for you for not vaccinating your child as well. That's great. All right, coming up to the last minute now. I'm going to try and sum up, guys. But Shroom Fairy said here, AI, interesting topic I've been coming across more and more. AI and transhumanism. Look into that more and more and more and more, because it's just getting out of hand. The robots these guys are coming up with now, the advancements. We have Sophia as well, the AI intelligence, which now has Saudi Arabian citizenship. The first, I guess, is that the first female that has a higher class than real women in that country, a higher standard. Because women are second-class citizens in that country, but Sophia, the robotic woman, is full citizen. Well, how crazy is that? You nailed it. That's exactly what the trans crap is about, methinks. And yeah, Sophia. Thanks, brother. May God bless you abundantly. You too, Aaron, man. I hope everything works out. Right, guys, we're going to call it there. It's past now. I've been going for an hour and a half. I hope the people listening enjoyed this show. I know it was a bit of a random one, just maybe a bit all over the place, but why not? Hey, it's my channel. I'll do what I want. All right, guys, you take it easy. God bless every one of you. If you want to contribute on Patreon or PayPal, links are below. But you don't have to, like I said, I work. But it would be nice, and I would appreciate it, guys. If not, just comment, like, and subscribe. If you've been listening to this tonight, please leave a comment below in this video after we have finished, because that would really help me get more views and get the video out there and make it trend better. Because anything you've said on this chat does not appear in the comment section. You have to do that after the video. And please thumb it up, guys, and share it as well. 10 episodes. Let's hope to 10 more. I can't promise a schedule, but I will be back, guys. God bless. Take it easy. Thank you very much.